This is the rumor mill. Before we jump into the rumor mill, it needs to be said that we are not going to be talking about all possible rumors that are associated with anything nerdy, because that would be impossible. I don't have access to all of those rumors, and honestly, a lot of those rumors really hold no water. So we're only going to be talking about the big ones, the ones that won't go away, or the ones that I find interesting, fun thought experiments, or something somewhere in between. So otherwise, if you have a rumor that you want to share with me, find me on the social medias. Just look for Generally Nerdy. My Nerdy Ninja is the guy, and that is where you will find me. So all of that being said, these are the rumors for today. Rumor mill. We've got a fair amount. So without any further ado, we're going to address those Star Wars rumors. So first things first, the postponement, the indefinite postponement of Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron has left open a big gap in what we know we're getting for Star Wars, because the things that we know absolutely are still happening are the Taika Waititi movie and the Kevin Feige movie. Those two things are still on the books. They still have tentative release dates. And then also, supposedly, we have the Rian Johnson trilogy is still somewhere in the works. The last we heard was from Johnson and Disney saying, yes, that is still going to happen sometime in the future. That one is not necessarily in production in any way at the moment, so we're going to just ignore the Rian Johnson movies. And Taika Waititi, Feige, and Jenkins were supposed to be the next 3 Star Wars movies that we were going to be getting, presumably sometime in short succession, be it a year or two between them. It was going to happen rather quickly. Well, now Jenkins' movie has been postponed, and all talk about Feige's movie has kind of died off. So the only one that even still kind of has buzz is Waititi's movie. And then all of the rumors started going crazy about a week ago, saying that Rogue Squadron was going to get bumped. And then we got the announcement that Rogue Squadron got postponed, and now we're getting an Old Republic movie. This is not, so according to all of the sources, there are plenty of sources on this one, but according to all of them, this is not going to be a retelling of the story from the Knights of the Old Republic video game, either of them, the first or the second. This is going to be a new story that exists in the universe at the same time as the timeline of those two games. So this presumably is not going to be related to either of those other two movies, the Waititi movie or the Feige movie. So very interesting, super excited about it. Likelihood that this is the way it's going. Oof, this is a really tough one to call, because there's so many sources here. It's kind of hard to ignore all of this information, all of these insiders and leakers and stuff making these announcements, especially days before it was announced that the Rogue Squadron movie was moving by Disney. Disney made that announcement. So that definitely lends a lot of credence to this. It's very exciting news, if it is news, but the probability that this rumor is going to come to light is pretty high, I gotta say. We're looking at like a 75. This is kind of outside my comfort zone, but 75% likelihood that we are going to be seeing an Old Republic movie in the near future. Our next rumor has to do with Wonder Woman 3. This is another Patty Jenkins vehicle. This one, though, has not been postponed, though we'll get into that. So this rumor says that we're going to be seeing Sasha Calle's Supergirl as well as Hawkgirl, who is yet to be cast in this movie. So we do have a couple of things playing for this. That is Sasha Calle, Supergirl, already going to be in The Flash. It would make sense that she would also be here, especially if it is revealed in the Flash movie that she is part of the main universe, which Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot are doing. Also, Hawkgirl was made very explicitly known that she could not be in the Black Adam project because DC had other plans for her. which lends towards this rumor's credibility as well. But there is one big piece that is going against this so far, and that is Patty Jenkins. Now, she didn't specifically say what the scheduling conflicts were for the Star Wars issue. It could be this, though. She has said that in no uncertain terms that she has not yet begun work on Wonder Woman 3. She also has said she might not even be the one to do Wonder Woman 3. So if that's the case, then they still have to find writers and a director for this movie. So for us to know that these two characters are going to exist in a movie that does not have a script yet is kind of far-fetched. So at the most, we could only go 50% on this one. Honestly, I feel like that's even a little high. I'm going to put this one right about 35% likelihood that these two characters will show up in Wonder Woman 3. This next rumor is kind of exciting, potentially. So X-Men, the animated series, has been rumored previously to be getting a reboot, and this is a new rumor saying that there is going to be another X-Men the Animated Series. So the rumor does specify that it is not necessarily going to be a continuation from the original animated series. It also says that it might not even be in the same vein as the original animated series, because we do know that Kevin Feige likes to do things the way Kevin Feige wants to do them. So being that the original animated series was very much in line with the original 90s comics, the 90s comics, probably means that if Feige has his hand in it, like he will, then it's not going to be that. So the fact that the rumor specifically states this plays to its favor. Original director and producer on the 90s animated series, Larry Houston, has made it known that he is very willing to rejoin his compatriots, that ones that are still with us, to make such a series, though Disney Plus has yet to reach out to him, as he has very explicitly stated numerous times in the not too distant past. So, likelihood that we're going to be getting an animated X-Men, the animated series. So this is a difficult one to call because, again, long enough timeline, anything becomes 100% possible. So we're going to look at this in a relatively short time frame. So we'll say within the next 3 to 5 years, what is the likelihood that we are going to be seeing an X-Men animated series? The likelihood that we are going to see some sort of reboot series, some sort of original X-Men animated series, seems pretty likely down the longer end of that road. So closer to 5 years, yes, I believe we will see an X-Men animated series. The likelihood that that animated series is going to have anything at all to do with the original 90s animated series is pretty low. We're going to say probably 70% likelihood we'll see it be within 5 years. That it's going to be related to the 90s, probably 20%. I would be very surprised if it really had anything to do with that 90s series, sadly. So our next set of rumors have to do with Spider-Man No Way Home. So Spider-Man No Way Home has some quote-unquote leaked images, two very specific leaked images, which hopefully I can get on screen right here for those of you watching. If you're not watching, youtube.com/generallynerdy. Anyway, I'll put on the screen first. This is the picture that is supposedly revealing that all three Spider-Mens from the recent movie past are going to be in this movie, namely Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland. This image is very easily picked out to be fake. The biggest tell is the levels of black are not the same, very specifically on Tobey Maguire. The Andrew Garfield image is a little bit harder to tell. Andrew Garfield part of the image, I should say, is a little harder to tell because he's a little further towards the background, so it's hard. He's a little more blurry, not close to the camera. Tobey Maguire, however, is rather close to the camera, and the black levels on him, and I wish I could go into greater detail, but it's kind of difficult when we're doing such a long episode. But either way, anyone who's worked at anything extensively with Photoshop can tell you that those are composited images. The second image that is potentially a little more likely. I would have to look at this one a little bit more, that there is the possibility that this one is also doctored, though it is a much better Photoshop job because there is no obviously glaring issues with this one. So this one could be true. And this one is showing us Daredevil, Charlie Cox playing Daredevil in the movie. So potentially that one is legit. The other one, no, absolutely not. So percentages here. We got to give the percentages because that's how this section works. So percentage that the first image is legit. I'm going to put that at 5%. There is very little possibility. It is possible, but there's very little possibility that that is a legitimate image. As far as the Charlie Cox image, I'll put that one at about 50%. I really could go either way on that one. There's some things that look like they might be a little sketch, but it's also not the greatest quality of image, so that could just be chalked up to image quality. So yeah, that's where we're sitting with that. But there is another rumor about Spider-Man. This one is post No Way Home. This rumor says that we're going to be seeing Spider-Man wearing the Venom symbiote in whatever movie follows Spider-Man No Way Home. So this one has the same glaring issue that Wonder Woman Volume 3 has, and that is there is no way at this point in time we know that information. This rumor, while potentially could actually happen, right now that information does not exist. So the fact that this rumor exists is 100% rumor. So we're putting this one at 0% likelihood that the next, and again, long enough timeline, sure, potentially anything can happen. But right now as it stands, 0% chance that there is anything that is resembling a true statement in that rumor. And then our final rumor for the episode has to do with Black Panther Wakanda Forever. A new rumor has surfaced stating that they will reveal the son of T'Challa and Nakia in the movie, and presumably he is going to be the next Black Panther, and then they're going to have battles as to who's going to hold the throne until he's old enough to challenge for it or whatnot and so forth and whatever. This one seems potentially accurate because this very much is in line with the way Disney does things. So as a way to elicit an emotional response from the audience, as a way to continue Black Panther in a reasonable way, because this isn't a bad thing. This is very potentially going to be a great way to do this. This isn't the best source. I will say that. So I can't go super high with this, even though I think this is a fantastic way to do what they want to do. The likelihood for this is probably right about 65%. A little more likely than not, but not the greatest source, and only one source talking about it. So I can't give it much more than that, and even that's probably a little generous. That being said, that is all we have for the rumors today, nerds. And that was the Rumor Mill once again, nerds. If you want to see the full episode, because this does come from a much larger episode, then you can follow the link in the description. The top link should take you to the episode, unless you're not on YouTube, in which case go to youtube.com/generallynerdy and you can do the thing and see the stuff and all of that jazz. And thank you very much, nerds. There's also a website, generallynerdy.net. Patreon.com/generallynerdy is the paywall that you can get behind, all of the things. I'm gonna go now. Before we go, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.